Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card topic is actually one that was suggested to me over on Patreon. So big shout out to the patron who suggested this one. Basically what I do every month over there is I make 2 additional pick a cards. So everybody gives their suggestions, then I put the suggestions into a poll and the 2 most popular topics get made over there. But this one, it was not a poll winner, but it was a very popular one, and I thought that it was very interesting, so I decided to do it here on my main channel. And we are going to be seeing in this reading what signs and messages you guys are not seeing, or maybe you are misinterpreting them. So, of course, being me, I broke down this reading into, different parts. I think I will elaborate further on the breakdown of this reading in the actual, once you've chosen your piles. So for this intro, we will just show you the crystals, give you a close-up look at each of them. There are 4 options today, so I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with the intro today, but I'm going to show you each of the crystals one by one. And then please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. Option number 1 is this pink porcelain Jasper heart. Option number 2 is this Shiva Lingam stone. Option number 3 is some clear quartz. And option number 4 is spirit quartz. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so this reading is for those of you who were drawn to the pink porcelain Jasper, and in today's reading we're going to be looking at the messages and signs that you are not seeing or that you are misinterpreting. And just before getting into this reading, I did want to say it feels like you guys have a bit of, it's like you have a larger spiritual team around you than usual, or you just have a little bit of extra reinforcement right now. Like maybe you guys just need a little bit more strength and protection for whatever you're going through in your life right now. And the way it's being shown to me, it might be kind of strange, but I'm seeing somebody who is like giving birth and there's a bunch of people huddled around them. I know usually it's just like the other parent of the child. I mean, I think it is. I've never been in a delivery room, but it's like you are the person in the delivery room and you're like birthing something, and it may be painful or uncomfortable, but they're all like huddled around you, like holding your hands and, supporting your back, like you can do this, keep pushing. Like that's the kind of image I'm seeing. I don't know if some of you are actually literally about to give birth, or if you're just going through a painful but very rewarding transition, but they're showing me that you have stronger numbers with you right now in terms of your spiritual support. I also want to mention that this pink porcelain Jasper, it reminds me a lot of Tina, who is the little kitten who appears in my videos sometimes. She really, really likes this stone, so it always reminds me of her. I remember I brought it home in a bag with a bunch of other crystals, and she was like digging and digging and digging in the bag, and I was like, what is it, Tina? Do you want a crystal? And so one by one I took them out, but she just kept digging in the bag. And then finally, when I brought this one out, she was swatting it around and trying to hold it and sniffing it. She really, really likes this one. So maybe some of you guys are fans of Tina if you've seen her before, and her spirit is with you right now. So the breakdown of this reading, the first thing I want to see is who is coming through. Who is it who has been trying to give you these messages and signs, whether they be incarnated or not, whether they be human or not, whether it be one soul or several souls. We're going to take a look at that. And then I also want to see, is it that you are not seeing their messages, or is it that you're misinterpreting them? Or is it a little bit of both? And then we will get into what the messages are. And then finally, regardless of who's coming through in this reading, I do want to close it off with messages from your higher self and messages from your spirit guides. So that is how it's going to go today. And without further ado, let's figure out who has been sending you these signs and synchronicities. Who has been trying to communicate with you but you are just not seeing it. Who is coming through for group number 1? So we have the Ace of Swords. So this could be Archangel Michael. The sword definitely reminds me of him. And we have the Eight of Swords. Interesting. So what the Ace of Swords is also making me think of is your higher self. I'm going to say for this group, if you have a special connection or resonate with Archangel Michael, it can definitely be him who is coming through. For others of you, I do think this is your own higher self, your own guidance that has been trying to come through to you. And it's interesting because when the Ace of Swords came out, I was also thinking like, oh, it's not that group 1 isn't seeing these signs. It's just that they have a hard time believing them, because Ace of Swords, for me, it's like a message that is coming through very, very crystal clearly. And I think it would be hard for you guys to miss it, because Ace of Swords signs are usually like very, very direct. Like, for an example, if somebody's spirit guides were trying to encourage them to quit their job, they would literally make them walk by a giant billboard that says like, quit your job in all caps. Like, this is the kind of signs that Ace of Swords tends to indicate for me. So I really don't think it's that you're not seeing them. Is that you're just doubting yourself. And then when the Eight of Swords came out, that was really, really reinforced for me, because the Eight of Swords does have this feeling of not being able to believe in yourself, not being able to be confident in telling your story, feeling trapped, feeling like a victim. You're definitely seeing them, and maybe even sometimes you do believe what you're seeing, but it's hard to act on it. And you just want to know for sure, like, are these really signs or is it just in my head? So this is a huge confirmation that whatever signs you've been seeing, especially really literal and clear ones, yes, they are signs. There's no need to overthink it too much. And with the numbers 1 and 8 here, there could be a new beginning in your career coming. There could be a tough karmic cycle that is closing off in favor of a more prosperous and more fulfilling and easier one. There could be some money coming in for you as well. It feels like there is some kind of reward coming to you. I don't know if that's exactly the word I'm looking for, because I don't like the idea of us being like rewarded or punished by our spiritual team, but you're reaping what you've sown. I can say it like that. You've been through a tough cycle and you are reaping what you've sown, and your reward, so to speak, is coming to you. The payoff for all of your hard work is coming to you. So I think we already kind of got our answer. If it's, is it that you're not seeing it? Is it that you're misinterpreting it? I think it's just a lack of confidence to really take that sign and claim that sign as your own. But let's see if there's any additional information here. We have the Knight of Wands. Okay, I got you. We have the Knight of Wands and Judgment. Yes. Okay, it's so interesting. So maybe I've spoken about this before. No, I think I definitely have. But sometimes before I start filming a video, I imagine myself filming, in my mind's eye. I see myself filming and I see certain cards coming out. And I was thinking to myself just minutes before I started filming, I was brushing my teeth and I was like, if the Judgment card comes out, I think it means that a deity is coming through. So wow, you guys have some big names working with you, if I can put it that way. You have archangels with you, you have deities with you. They're helping you with something really, really big. You guys are about, there's a car starting. It's go time. You guys are about to embark on a journey or start a project that is really, really big and important. Not just for you and your own life, but to make a difference in your community, or even, I dare say, to make a difference in the world. You guys are about to make a huge difference in your world. So this is what I want to say about the Knight of Wands, because this is about confidence. This is about being a go-getter. I feel like you are seeing the signs. You are hearing them loud and clear. There's a freaking trumpet here. It's really hard. If there is a massive angel with a trumpet in the sky, you really think you're not going to hear that? I think you guys are hearing the signs loud and clear. You just need a little bit of extra encouragement to take action. The Eight of Swords tells me that you guys are afraid to take action, and this Knight of Wands energy is encouraging you to be a go-getter. And I was just thinking about this and talking about this the other day, where when we see signs from our angels, when we see signs from our spiritual team, it's not necessarily telling us of something that is going to happen, but more so telling us about the potential of what can happen and giving us the green light to take action. And because you guys have the Knight of Wands here, which is a confident go-getter masculine energy, you also have the number 1, which is a masculine number of taking action, of taking initiative. I feel like when it comes to the signs you guys are seeing, it's telling you to take action and claim your blessing, rather than being a more passive message about the blessing is coming to you, if that makes sense. And it's so interesting. I just looked up and we're at 9 minutes and 11 seconds, which is like the number that reminds me of Archangel Michael. So he's definitely here today. I don't know why I just thought of this, but some of you guys watch Kenny JD's videos, how she's like, if you're new around here, welcome. If you're not new around here, what is up, home skillet biscuit? So for some of you, Michael has been around you for a long time. You're familiar with him, you work with him. For others of you, you might just be getting acquainted with Michael, but he's definitely in the building here. And some of you guys may even be feeling like frustrated or confused because you're like, I'm getting all these signs, but change isn't happening. Like, what's going on here? And it's because there needs to be your action taking and your initiative that is accompanied by that. Your signs are a green light to take action. I also want to say with the Knight of Wands, when it comes to who is here, I do often think of the Knight of Wands as somebody who was like your best friend or your bro in a past life, and they may be guiding you right now. I know that's very specific, but that's just how he comes through to me. It could have been even like your brother, your friend, but it's usually like if you guys were bros in a last life, like you were two bros. So, and usually they are very, very funny, very encouraging. They're like a cheerleader with a great sense of humor. That's kind of how their energy comes through. So we want to get a little bit more into what they're trying to tell you. We have some hints here. You guys are about to do something big. You guys are about to start a very significant project. You guys are about to start raking it in, bringing home the bacon, as they say, and really like imprinting yourself in your community, starting to make a big difference in your community. So let's take a look at some oracle cards to get our first hints about what these messages are about. We have love. We have self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Exactly. And we have Stibnite with conflict. Oh, okay. The first thing that's coming to me, and it's bittersweet. It's a little bit sad because the first thing that's coming to me is that your spiritual team is sending you signs and messages of love. Like they are constantly telling you that they love you. They love you so much and they're here for you. But with this self-esteem and conflict, it's almost like you need more confidence in yourself, or you need more self-esteem to recognize these signs. And I totally do this too, where I kind of feel intuitively that my guides are around me and sending me love, and then I'm like, nah, they don't have time for that, or like a deity or something. I feel like I'm out of this angel's league, or I'm out of this deity's league. Like there's no way they would be talking to me or sending me love. Or I know some people struggle with feeling like my guides must be tired of me or frustrated with me or things like that. I think there may be, especially with the Eight of Swords too, there may be some self-esteem, low self-esteem or self-doubt that is blocking the messages of love that your spiritual team is always sending you. And so please, if I may, let me be the middleman to tell you that they love you so much and they are supporting you all the time. They are very patient with you. They are very affectionate with you. You could never like annoy or piss off or disappoint your guides, really. Like, they're here for you 100%. They've got your back 100%. So the way I see this is like your self-esteem is conflicting with their messages of love. And it's interesting too, like the shape of this crystal, because clear crystals make me think of obviously like clarity and the truth. But the way this is like breaking apart, it's like you're making it more complicated than it needs to be. They love you, they're happy for you, they're supporting you. But I think when you get in your head, you're like, oh, but you know, maybe I'm not taking enough action, so they're getting impatient with me, and I didn't do the right thing back then, and maybe this guide is like, not really with me because they have better things to do. You kind of get in your head and make up these reasons for why they wouldn't be constantly sending you this unconditional love and support, when in reality it's very simple. They're always here showering you with love. It's almost like you're in a bath of love. They made a bath of love for you and you're always soaking in it. There could also be a message about love coming to you guys, or love that is already here for you if you have met somebody, and it could be some self-esteem issues that are causing you to doubt that. For example, your spiritual team telling you love is coming and you're like, oh no it's not. Or your spiritual team telling you, look at this person, and you're like, no, I could never, or they would never, or whatever it is. Not seeing opportunities as being there for you, or not seeing blessings as being there for you because of some problems with self-esteem. So now we are going to take a peek into the tarot, get some more details about these signs and messages. What would Group 1's spiritual team like them to know? What would they like to communicate with them? You're doing amazing. You're doing amazing, and we will, how can I describe it? In the spiritual community, we're very, very often, how could I say it? Pushing or encouraging, like, use your own intuition, rely on yourself to find the answers, rely on yourself to find the truth. You don't need these readings, you don't need this external validation and all this stuff. And it's like your guides want you to know the reason we say this is not because we're tired of you asking us. It's not like, oh, figure it out on your own, I don't want to help you. It's for your own benefit. It's so that you can feel good and comfortable and like you can rely on your own intuition. But it doesn't mean that you can't talk to us whenever you want. It doesn't mean that you can't... Okay, they're giving me the example of like a parent... Okay, let's say a parent taught their kid how to drive. And the reason they did that is because they want their child to be independent and free, and they want their child to be able to drive wherever they want to go and have that, like, mobility. The parent is not doing it because like, oh, I'm sick of driving you everywhere. It's that distinction. If you want me to keep driving you places, I will happily do that. But I want you to have the ability to drive yourself, because that gives you more agency. That gives you more freedom. That gives you more security. It's for you. So they're just saying, I guess they just want to say it's like, it's never that you're burdening us, And even if you became completely self-sufficient and self-reliant when it comes to using your intuition to find answers, we hope that you would still come and talk to us sometimes, and that you would still ask for our opinion sometimes. It doesn't mean that you have all the answers on your own, so we disappear. No. Heck no, we're still here. That's kind of how it's coming through. Take good care of yourself. Make sure you're taking your vitamin C, drinking, you know, orange juice, drinking water so that you don't catch a cold. We have, oh my God, it's the Knight of Wands again. Yeah, you were definitely bros with this spirit guide. And it could be literal brothers. It could be like, you know, you had a bromance. But this Knight of Wands card has two people on it. And they are literal mirror images of each other. So one of your spirit guides is like wanting you to know that you guys are equals. Maybe someday you will guide this soul when they incarnate, or maybe you have, or maybe you will be incarnated together again. But this is like your friend that you have up here in the spirit world. If any of you guys did have a friend or a sibling or a cousin, I feel like somebody who is close in age, that cross over during this lifetime, then this could be them who is with you on the other side. We have shadow work and the Hierophant. Okay, so we have Taurus energy here. We have fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. These cards make me think of Scorpio because I think Judgment is related to Pluto. And shadow work just gives me Scorpio vibes. So those could be significant zodiac signs for you guys. With the Knight of Wands here, I do think that a really fun and exciting adventure is just on the horizon for you guys. And it could very well be shadow work that helps you guys get to the bottom of why you are so scared to do this. And they may want you to dig a little deeper into that. Because I feel like you guys know what you want. You know what your spiritual team is encouraging you to do. But I do see you guys in a more passive energy where you are waiting for them to just come and hand it to you. And where you're getting stuck is your initiative, your taking action towards this goal or towards this project. They want you to make the first move and take that first bold step. Now, there could be many reasons. It could be like you're afraid of failure. It could be you're afraid of criticism. It could be you are afraid of moving forward without knowing all the answers. So you want to know 100% sure that it's destined so that, you know, it's not on your hands to make it work or not. You could subconsciously be afraid of success and wealth because you feel like you're not worthy of it, or you feel like people are going to be jealous of you and people are going to not like you, or, you know, it could be so many different things. But I think they're encouraging you not to just stop at I'm scared or I'm nervous, but dig a little bit deeper into that scaredness or nervousness. Because, you know, at least in my experience, digging deep kind of brings up answers that you weren't expecting. Like you thought it was one limiting belief that was holding you back, but it's completely something else. So you may want to really dive deep into your fears. But the Hierophant here, I do think of this as like committing to yourself and committing to, this is going to sound cheesy, but like committing to the quest of knowledge of discovering yourself. The Hierophant for me is like a being that links our physical, corporal vessel with our soul and really helps us to strengthen that bridge and really helps us to know ourselves. There's a lot of knowledge and wisdom in this card. They want you to get to know yourself because I think you can get to the bottom of what is making you so afraid to take action. Because it's not that you shouldn't, you definitely should. Whatever it is that you guys are wanting, whatever it is that you guys are drawn to, it's there for a reason and you should definitely go for it. And they're giving you, your guides are giving you all the green lights in the world. And you're seeing them. I think you guys are seeing them. You're just scared to admit that it's actually a sign and go for it. And maybe even your self-doubt is like a defense mechanism. You know, when you're like, oh, that's not a sign. It's like, there's part of you that's scared of believing it's a sign, because if you believe it's a sign, you would know that it's telling you to take action. So you're like, no, that's not a sign. I don't believe in that. But you do. I think you understand what they're trying to tell you very, very well. And everything you've heard in this reading is probably stuff that they've already told you. But now I want to finish off the reading with messages from your higher self and messages from your spirit guides. And that can be anybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be Michael or the bro or the deity, whoever it may be, who is coming through here. The deity, if you're not sure who this is referring to, they might be someone who is often depicted as having blonde hair or yellow hair or light colored hair. And a more like pale to medium complexion, I would say. I'm not sure exactly who it is, if I'm being honest, so maybe it's different for everybody. Or they may not even have a face. They may be like a cloaked or faceless being, which is kind of spooky, but I like their style. All right, so for the spirit guides message, it can be really anybody from your spiritual team who wants to come through. But let's start with your higher self. What does your higher self want you to know? Fall back, retreat, pull back your energy, step away, take a needed break. You will awaken to a new point of view. It's amazing what a perspective shift can do. So maybe you guys are already in this cycle, or maybe you're about to go into it. Maybe you're just coming out of it. I'm not sure, but it does look like there is a period you guys will go through where you are doing some shadow work, where you're addressing your fears, where you're kind of laying low. You know, you feel kind of introverted, you feel kind of tired, you feel very much in your head, but you're sorting things out. But it's like when you get back out there into the world, your perspective is completely different because you don't have the fears that are hanging over you anymore. It's almost as if this opportunity is in front of you and you're scared to take it. Then you go into your cave and you do your shadow work and you release and you come out and you're like, oh my God, this is a no-brainer. I'm going to go for it. And it's almost like you cannot even remember the past version of yourself who was afraid, or you cannot even remember why you gave those fears so much weight. And this is actually very important because I think what they're saying here is that if you really, really feel scared to take action towards your dreams and goals, like if you really feel resistance, maybe it's not wise to power through that or to force yourself. Or it's not necessary, I should say. It's not necessary to do that for this group. And that's very much like personal guidance, because for some people, I get the message like, just go for it anyway, just do it. But I think it's not necessary for you guys. You can go within and weed out these fears and actually come out confident and courageous. You can actually find that confidence before you go for it. So if you're like standing on the edge and you feel really scared and reluctant to move forward, take some time. Take some time out. Like this card says, take a break, regroup, figure out what you're so afraid of and work through that. And when you come back out of your, I keep thinking of it as a cave, like going in to do shadow work. When you come out of your cave, you'll be a new person. You'll have a new perspective. You will not be afraid anymore. And there is this feeling of amnesia, or like forgetting what you were so afraid of in the first place. Me? I was afraid of that? Are you kidding me? Okay, Then we have ask and receive, ask and receive, you get what you have the courage to ask for. Ask for help or support. So this really reminds me of like ask and it is given. This really reminds me of anything that your heart desires, any prayer that you have, we can answer it. And this also makes me think of the previous message of like, talk to us at any time. We are here for you anywhere, anytime, any place, any way, whatever you need from us. Just ask. We can we can. We can help you through this journey as well. You can ask your spiritual team or ask your higher self, show me what is holding me back. Show me what is blocking me. Show me what fears need to be removed. Be vulnerable. Vulnerability is strength. Lay your cards out on the table. Reveal the true you. Keep your mind and heart open. There is no need to protect yourself. Some of you guys may have, it's so weird, built a shell around your fears so that they won't, I'm thinking of how like the body makes, you know how the body makes like capsules around foreign objects, like implants and stuff so that it can't hurt it. I feel like maybe you guys have built a capsule around your fears. I don't know why it's being shown to me like that. So that they can't get out. So you don't have to see them. So you don't have to address them. But they're still holding you back. So your higher self is saying, don't be afraid to let them out. Don't be afraid to release them, because once you do, you'll go back to being yourself. Almost like you're being possessed by these foreign fears that are not yours, but that were, okay, if you guys want to learn more about what fears are holding you back, look more into like society. You know, like the insecurities of the collective consciousness. You know, a lot of us deal with the same kind of, you know, we're afraid of being judged, or we want to, you know, show off to everybody that we're doing very well. We want to fit the ideal beauty standard, these kind of societal things, because I think that thing of like the capsule around the foreign object and you know, purging what is not you so you can get back to yourself. I feel like these are insecurities and fears that have been drilled into you just by being like a human in society, but they're not really you. So these are not necessarily things that like come from your past life or come from your subconscious or something like that. It's foreign. It's like a parasite in you, if that makes sense. Like the constant pursuit for like more money and showing off our shiny possessions. You may have this is just an example, but like, let's say you got really, really caught up in that. And so you keep like burning yourself out, working and accumulating more and more possessions to show people. And you're like, I never gave a shit about this. Like, what is this? I don't even care about this. I just got like possessed by the parasite of society. Maybe you need to like go off the grid for a while. Like get out of modern civilization, reconnect with nature, and remember what really matters, and realize like, holy crap, that was not even me. I just went on autopilot and I was being programmed by society's values. And yeah, you need to get back to yourself. And wow. Okay. So now let's get some messages from your spirit guides. I'm going to use the tea leaf cards. Arrow, you are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. We have an astral house, which is wealth. And I love that the arrow is like on a bullseye to the wealth. It's making me think of like you're right on the money. We were getting all those messages in the beginning of the reading of like, you have a green light to move forward with a project or move forward with a goal. It's going to bring you abundance. It's going to bring you money. You're going to make a difference in the world. We have tulip with great passion. So you're being asked to follow your passion. At the bottom of the deck, we have kite with vacation, which is like, exactly what we're talking about here. Take a much needed break. Wow. The month of May might be significant for you guys because that's just tulips make me think of the month of May. In my hometown, there's a tulip festival in May and it's very pretty. So it's making me think of that. But yeah, these are all the messages that I see for you guys. So thank you very, very much for letting me read for you. Thank you very much to everybody who came through today. That was very kind of you. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number twos, your flame was going crazy there. So if you guys chose the Shiva Lingam stone, this is going to be a reading all about the messages and signs that you are not seeing or that you are misinterpreting. So the quick breakdown of this reading is, first we are going to figure out who is coming through, who has been trying to send you these messages and signs, whether that be a soul who is incarnated or not, whether they be human or not, whether it be one soul or several souls. We're going to see who's communicating with you. And then I also want to see, is it that you are not seeing these signs or that you're misinterpreting them? Or is it that you see them but you're not believing them or you're not acting on them? Then we're going to take a dive into what exactly these messages are for you. And then regardless of who has come through in this reading, I do want to close it off with messages from your higher self and your spirit guides. So that's how it's going to go. Without further ado, let's get right into it. And we are going to start with who. Who is coming through? Who has been trying to send group 2 messages? Who has been leaving signs for group 2? Okay, so we have the 6 of Cups. You guys got 3 cards. The first group got 2. We have the Wheel of Fortune and we have Justice. Okay, so one of the, I don't know if you could even call this well, it's not a person. It's not really a soul either, but one of the sources of the signs and messages is actually the universe itself or spirit itself. This is the message that I'm getting from the Wheel of Fortune. Also, when the deck was shuffling, you know, it didn't take a super long time for the cards to come out, but it felt like it was taking a little bit of time. And usually I interpret this as a slow moving situation, but actually, when it comes to this group, I took it as somebody who is shy. So I think that one of the souls who has been trying to communicate with you is shy, and maybe the reason you haven't been seeing their signs is because they're being very timid about it. Like, this is not a soul that's, you know, putting huge billboards in your face or being very loud with their messages, almost as if they are putting out feelers to see if you will recognize them. They're being very subtle. And you know what? The example I'm being shown is like when you tweet about somebody or you make a post that's specifically because you want somebody to see it, but you don't directly like mention them or tag them so that it could be interpreted either way. You know, I didn't actually say this is about you, but if you know, you know. If you think it's about you, then it is. It's kind of like indirect, testing the waters. There's a soul who's communicating to you with this way. So they are a little bit more subtle in the signs that they give you. This is some kind of soulmate coming through. The 6 of Cups made me think of that immediately. This is somebody with whom you have a past life connection. It doesn't matter whether it is romantic or platonic, but there is a deep, deep familiarity with this person. And then Justice came out as if to just confirm that, because Justice is all about partners, counterparts, it's Libra energy, it's seventh house or the other half sort of energy. So I would say in terms of who is coming through, it's spirit itself and also some kind of soulmate or counterpart, whether it be romantic or platonic, but the soulmate is being shy. The soulmate's being a little bit shy right now, and I think that's why you are not picking up on them, or they may just be kind of figuring this whole thing out, like figuring out how to send signs, figuring out how to send telepathic messages. It's kind of just like the signal is weak right now, if that makes sense, or they're not being very obvious. You also may want to pay attention to the planets when you get messages from spirit. Pay attention to your birth chart, pay attention to your astrological transits, pay attention to the synastry that you have with other people, or like the astrological compatibility that you have with other people. Spirit might communicate to you through horoscopes or zodiac readings if you guys are into that. But let's take a deeper dive and see what is going on here. I want to see, is it that you're not seeing these signs? Is it that you're misinterpreting them? Is it that you're seeing them but you don't believe them? I just noticed there's lovers in the Three of Wands in reverse when I cut the deck. So there's some counterpart coming through with the Three of Wands in reverse. It's like they're afraid to come forward. They're afraid to take action. So what's going on with these signs? Why isn't group 2 fully getting these messages or signs? There's Six of Swords and the Emperor. Six of Swords and the Emperor. It's interesting because these are kind of opposite energies. The Six of Swords is about movement and moving on, and the Emperor is about very, very firmly staying where you are. So somebody is staying too much in their comfort zone. If I can give a very literal example, it might be like you guys need to get out more in order to see these signs. Like if you're just staying in the confines of your home or going to the regular places that you're always going to, you might be missing out on some of these signs and messages. And it's very interesting because I'm a believer that our guides, or the souls who are trying to communicate with us, but mostly our guides, they will choose a way of communicating that is in alignment with what they want us to do. So for example, if your guides want you to relax, if they want you to slow down and rest, then they're going to start communicating more quietly, because that means that you need to slow down to hear them. So if your guides are wanting you to like get out of your house and explore, they're going to start communicating with you more in the outside world, if that makes sense. So it's like in order to find them, you have to essentially do the thing that they want you to do. I hope that you can understand. Some of you guys might be being called to travel, being called to especially like move. There's a doorbell, so maybe that's a confirmation for you guys. More than just traveling, more than just taking a trip, it actually feels like establishing your roots somewhere else or relocating somewhere else, because the Six of Swords is about like moving on, relocation, and then the Emperor is like planting your roots, establishing your home somewhere, establishing your independence and your success somewhere. I feel like many of you guys who chose this group are meant to, I don't know what, establishing your roots is not the right way to say it, but like plant your roots somewhere else or build your empire somewhere else other than where you currently are. So that might be a message that your guides are really trying to convey to you. And in order to see more messages from spirit, especially, I think there's a need for you guys to get out of your comfort zone, get out of your home, get out of the routine that you're doing all the time. And it's like the second you start to do that, you're going to start seeing signs that you're doing the right thing. So let's just say, for an example, you go out to like a bar that you've never been to before and you meet some strangers and you get to talking with them, and then spirit speaks to you through this stranger, almost as if to say, you did a good job coming out here today. You did a good job leaving the house. You did a good job exploring. Yeah, the more you go out, the more you expand your horizons, the more you will hear from spirit. Now, I do think that you will hear from this soulmate or counterpart no matter where you are, even if you're just relaxing at home, even if you're 100% in your comfort zone, even if you're just in your own inner world, because I think this counterpart has more of a low-key energy, but also more of an, well, spirit's omnipresent too, but this counterpart definitely has like an omnipresent energy in your life, and the Six of Cups is a very, very familiar energy, so I don't think you'd have to change up too much to hear from them, but spirit is really urging you to get out there, you know, and maybe spirit is actually helping to transform this counterpart relationship into something that is just going on in your inner world to something that you can actually experience out in the 3D physical world. I feel like spirit's really pushing you to get out there. I should also mention we have Libra energy here, we have Aries energy here, and which is very funny because Libra and Aries are like sister signs, they are counterparts. But okay. Let's take a look at some oracle cards now. So the first one that we have is Time Out. We have Surrender. I can release my need to control. And Spirit Quartz with music. Interesting. So actually, one of the ways that you might be receiving signs and messages is through music. And group 4, if you remember from the intro, the option for group 4 was Spirit Quartz. So I haven't filmed that one yet, but maybe there will be a message for you guys in that one as well. If you were drawn to it, you might want to check it out after this one or not. But music might be a way that that your guides communicate with you, or that this counterpart communicates with you. If there is, okay, this is kind of specific, but like if you guys, when you're on like YouTube or when you're using a music streaming service or something like that, if there's a song, a new song that keeps popping up, or a song that keeps getting recommended to you, but you haven't listened to it yet, it might be following you around because there's a message for you in one of the songs, like in the lyrics of the song, or a certain emotion that would be evoked from it. It's funny because I can think of one myself. There's this playlist that is following me around. It's called like music to listen to when you're stressed, I think. And every single time I look at it, I misread it as music to listen to when you're starseed, even though that's not grammatically correct. I always read it like that. So just pay attention to the music that is coming up when you shuffle, that's coming up in your recommended, that's coming up like, you know, when Spotify auto plays stuff. I don't know what it's called. Music might be important. Another specific message maybe for some of you is you're being asked to make time for music. Like time out and surrender makes me think of taking a break. And then music is music. So it's like you're either being asked to take time to listen to music more, or if you are a musician yourself, you're being asked to put aside more time to work on your music. Maybe one day you will be like a successful musician somewhere else, like you're going to relocate to pursue music. But let's take a look at the Time Out and Surrender. I can release my need to control. Oh, all right. Sorry. A lot of the messages that are coming through are like specific. So I don't know if they're for everybody, but hopefully they will resonate for a number of you guys. You know how there's that practice you can do? It's sort of like to build rapport with your spirit guides, where you ask for very specific signs from them. So you'll say like, okay, spirit guides, if you're out there, I would like you to show me a blue ostrich, or I would like you to show me a flamingo, or something like that. And then you get one. And this is a way to strengthen your relationship and your trust with your spirit guides, because you realize how specific you can get and how they're always listening to you and responding to you. So some of you guys may be doing this practice with your guides guides. Like, I want you to show me something very, very specific. But one thing that they would like you to know is be careful that you're not assuming I won't get signs from them until I see the blue ostrich, if that makes sense. Because, you know, like, they might be trying to bring a flamingo in your path as you asked them, but maybe, you know, it's going to be like a week or so before they can bring a flamingo into your life. And they don't want you to think that for that whole week or so that you're waiting, that they're not giving you any signs, you know? So just be careful if you're waiting for a specific one, that you're not seeing other signs and being like, no, that's not a sign from them because that's not a flamingo. Like, yes, you will get the specific one, but you're also going to get a bunch of other stuff in the meantime. We're still going to be communicating with you a bunch in the meantime. So some people needed to hear that, I think. But it's interesting, the mixed energy that we have here, because there's spirit who is communicating with you very much outside of your comfort zone, outside of your daily life, out in the world, because spirit is trying to pull you out there. And then there's this counterpart who's there all the time. Like with this timeout and surrender, this makes me think of like chilling and taking a break. And maybe their energies together is like asking you to give up something of your current life and move somewhere else. To put something in your current life to an end and move somewhere else and start new and start fresh. Almost like your home is out there waiting for you. That's the kind of vibe I get, like with the Six of Swords and the Six of Cups. It's really interesting that you have the Wheel of... it's really interesting that you have Justice as well, because from the perspective of like pursuing your dreams and manifestation, Justice makes me think of like what you want wants you. Because it's equal energy, both sides are balanced. So like if you really want something, then it really wants you too. So in the messages you're receiving, they might be trying to confirm this to you. And the Wheel of Fortune for me is like the universe favoring you, or the universe matching your effort. So even if you have no idea what you're doing or like how to make your dream come true, the universe is favoring you just because you have the will to do it, and just because you're willing to take steps towards it. So you will find that, just like the example of getting out of your house and then having a confirmation from a stranger talking to you, you will find that like just taking that step out there, the universe is going to respond to that. So how can I give a better example of that? I'm being shown, this is really weird, but I'm being shown like a pond, and you want to cross the pond, but there's only one lily pad for you to step on. But then you step on the lily pad and then bloop, 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 the next lily pad floats up. That's a very interesting visual, but it's like, it wasn't there before, but because you trusted the universe and took a step, the universe produced the new lily pad. The universe is gonna like usher you through your journey to where you need to be, and make things fall into place for you and make things work out for you. Okay, so let's get into the tarot now and get some more insights about your signs and messages. What else would these lovely people like to tell you? What would Spirit and your counterpart like to communicate to you? It's cute that we have like Spirit Quartz here as well. It's extra confirmation that Spirit is in the building. We have Death, so there is Scorpio energy coming through here, and even more confirmation, I think, with timeout and surrender as well, that something needs to be released, that something needs to be ended so that you can move forward in the direction of your purpose and your calling. We also have the Fool. Leaps of faith. And the Six of Wands. Oh my gosh. So there is great success waiting for you guys. Again, like some of you guys may become successful musicians. You can really be successful anything, but maybe there's a few people who chose this group that needed that, who needed that confirmation. But with the Emperor here, this is like success, independence, being in a position of authority, being the boss of your own life. It's really interesting that in the Fool card we have the Wolf as well, because the Wolf does make me think of someone who's like a leader, an independent badass. Like you have this kind of success waiting for you, where you're doing what you love and you're calling the shots and you're living life on your own terms. Very interesting that we have two mirrored people here in the Six of Wands. I don't know if this is like a business partner or a collaborator type of soulmate relationship that you guys are coming into, or just that you and your soulmate are going to be equally successful and equally relevant is the word that is coming to my mind, which is kind of weird, but I guess relevant means like recognized, important, people are talking about you, you're influencing the field that you're in. Like you guys have equal prowess, equal prowess and equal power. You're making equal contributions and equal differences in the fields that you're in, whether it's the same field or different ones. But this is the future that is waiting for you. This is the future that you're being called to. This is what the higher self of this counterpart and spirit itself is trying to confirm to you. And you will be victorious. You will be victorious in your future. Anything that you endeavor, anything that you set out to do, you are going to be successful. That's why the Six of Wands is here. Oh, and there's also like cobras that are intertwining, which reminds me very much of the Two of Cups. Like in the Two of Cups, we usually have like the lion head, and then there's like the intertwining snakes. So it reminds me of that as well. With this huge full moon in the background, another way that your spiritual team might communicate to you is through very, very intense emotions. Like a wave of intense emotion that you can't explain. Maybe you get that when you listen to a certain song, when you hear a certain lyric, you start crying, or you feel like a fire lit up in your heart, or when you see images or words that are relevant to your future and to this calling. It's like you cannot explain how this powerful emotion overcomes you. There's actually even a huge full moon in this death card as well. But it's so interesting how these came out, and especially the order, because death is about releasing. It's about something coming to an end. And then the Fool is about a new beginning and a leap of faith. So you guys are being called by spirit and by this counterpart to let go of something in your current life and take a leap of faith into something new, even if you don't have all the answers. And I really like the Fool. The Fool is one of those cards that to me is very interesting how it's depicted, like from deck to deck, especially just like the placement and the relationship between the person and the dog. It's always about a leap of faith. And for me, the dog is always like spirit or your spiritual team supporting you and being with you every step of the way. But in this one, it's like the dog is going first, and the dog is peering over the edge of the cliff, like to make sure that it's safe. So it's almost like your spiritual team is saying to you, it's okay if you don't have it all figured out, because I'm going to make sure that you don't get into anything dangerous. I'm going to make sure that you don't take the wrong path. I'm always going to be a step ahead of you, like those lily pads popping up ahead of you. I'm always going to be a step ahead, making sure that you're safe. And if you're ever about to do something that you shouldn't do, if you're ever about to get yourself in a bad situation, I will send you warning signs. I'll always give you like a heads up of what is to come. You just have to trust me. Like that's your job. Your job is to just trust your spiritual team and follow the lily pads, or like your spiritual team is going to peer over this cliff always and make sure that it's safe before you take the jump. But there's butterflies on both of these cards. Oh, and actually there's snakes on both of these cards too. Butterflies and snakes. Butterflies are like transformation, obviously the metamorphosis from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And snakes make me think of like shedding your skin. This person looks like they've just shed their skin and they're liberated. So you're being, and I keep thinking of the word ushered, which I don't use that much, but you're being ushered into a new chapter where you are more liberated, where you're answering your calling. And the snakes could also be like your spiritual team saying that they're going to protect you from snakes, you know? With the dog here as well, like people born in the year of the snake or people born in the year of the dog might be significant to you. The snake is 2001, 1989, 1977, 1965, and then just keep going back like 12 years. And then the dog is 1994, 1982, 1970, and then keep going back 12 years like that. I've really memorized those because I've mentioned them so much. So, all right. So now let's move on to the final part of this reading, which is messages from your higher self and from your spirit guides. In the spirit guide section, this can really be anybody. So it doesn't have to be just spirit and the counterpart who are coming through here, but any other guides who would like to pop in and say something. And actually with the Emperor here, there could be kind of a fatherly spirit guide who is around you. It could really be anybody, like someone who was your father in a past life, or a grandfather who has passed away, or a great-grandfather, or even just an angel who protects you in a fatherly way. But the Emperor does seem to be indicating that. It could be somebody who has incarnated on Earth and passed away, actually, with the Death card here. And then Fool for me is just even more indication of spirit. All right, so what would your higher self like you to know? We have, don't complicate it. The truth is simple. You already have the answers. Accept people and situations exactly as they are. It will bring you clarity and peace. So your higher self is asking you not to complicate things and not to overthink when you receive messages and signs from them. I feel like you guys already know what your truth is. And this is a message that came out in group 1 as well. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out in every group, because I think more often than not, we do know what our inner guidance is trying to tell us. We do know what the signs are trying to tell us, and we just need a little bit of extra reassurance of that. But you know how, what is it called? Like Occam's razor, or like that, take the path of least resistance. I almost feel like for you guys, accepting the messages that are coming to you as signs and accepting the dream that is in your heart as your destiny is actually the path of least resistance. Like it's actually the most simple and intuitive answer. And when it comes to talking yourself out of your dreams and your wishes and talking yourself out of believing the signs that are coming to you, that's almost like even more complicated. Like if you have to write off everything as some very weird and specific coincidence, that almost takes more energy, or like more effort. And I don't know, I'm seeing like, okay, somebody like really, really likes you and they're making it very, very obvious. And so, you know, maybe they are like checking up on you every day. They're going out of their way to help you. They're complimenting you all the time. They're inviting you out. They're always making sure you feel included. The most natural conclusion to make there is that person likes me, right? But it's like through self-doubt, you're telling some story of like, oh no, they're just being nice to me. They're just a nice person. They weren't flirting with me. I think that they're just really friendly actually. And they were only helping me because they felt bad because I helped them this one time. Like the story to talk yourself out of what you know to be true is actually more unlikely. It's more ridiculous. And it's, you know what I'm trying to say. It's like the easiest and most simple thing to believe the signs that are coming to you. Okay. Okay, are these? Yes, they're the same. They're the same image. Yeah, there's definitely counterpart energy going on here. Sorry, I don't mean to be like middle fingering you. It's just how I can pick up the cards. Listen more than you speak. If you can listen more than you speak, I'll get you everything that you need. Listen to understand, not to reply. Listen with empathy, with your whole body. Notice what is not being said. I feel like some of you guys need to listen to music to get messages from your counterpart, and maybe also read between the lines, because like we saw at the beginning, they're not very like obvious or in your face. Notice what is not being said. Pick up on the subtleties. You guys are very good at reading people and reading the situation, but you need to trust yourself more. Trust. Take a chance. Faith can move mountains. Trust the universe to guide you through the unknown. Exactly. I don't even have to explain that one further. And then at the bottom of the deck, there's I honor my intuition. I trust myself. Exactly. So now we're going to take some tea leaf cards to get messages from your spirit guides. We have leg, which flipped over very, very quickly, stepping into a new experience. Heart, love, deep affection, and caring. Aww. That can be from everybody, honestly, but definitely from your counterpart. Goldfish, increase in material wealth or spiritual growth, or both. And then at the bottom we have happiness. Wow. There's so much love around you. There is so much happiness coming. I think you guys are already very in tune with the messages and signs. You just need to feel like you can claim them. And I think you guys need to start validating yourself a lot more, because it's almost like you're telling an even more elaborate story to discredit the signs. You know, just accepting it as a sign, accepting it for what it is, accepting this connection for what it is, accepting your calling for what it is. Like, I'm telling you, that makes the most sense. That's the razor. That's the Occam's razor or whatever. Okay, but these are all the messages that I have for you guys, so I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, sending all of your guides lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number threes. So this reading is for those of you who were drawn to the clear quartz. And in today's reading, we are going to be taking a look at the messages and signs that you are not seeing or that you are misinterpreting. So the breakdown of this reading is, first of all, we need to figure out who is coming through today. So who has been trying to send you these messages and these signs, whether that be someone who is incarnated or not, whether it be a human or not, whether it be one soul or a group of souls. We're going to see who's coming through. And then I want to figure out, is it that you are not seeing these signs? Is it that you're misinterpreting them? Is it that you're seeing them, but you're having trouble believing them or claiming them? We're going to take a look at that as well. And then we will get into what the messages and signs are. And then finally at the end, regardless of who has come through in this reading, I do want to just close it off with messages from your higher self and your spirit guides. So that is how it's going to go today. And let's start off by seeing who has been trying to send messages and signs to group 3. Who is trying to communicate with group 3? So we have the Four of Swords to start off. And we have the Five of Cups. Okay, so this is somebody that you know, somebody whose energy you are familiar with. With the Four of Swords here, I think that this is somebody that you either dream about. Maybe you've been dreaming about them very frequently, especially recently, or somebody who appears to you in meditations, or somebody you can't help but think about when your mind is idle. The Four of Swords is about inaction and rest and anything like that. So it's kind of this feeling of like, you know, when you're keeping busy, you're thinking about the task at hand, but when your mind slows down and there's no like external stimulation, this is somebody that your mind just goes to. Your mind just wanders there. So I think it's somebody who is very important to you. And with the Five of Cups here, I would say this is somebody that you miss. So it could be somebody you don't talk to anymore, somebody that you've separated with. It could even be somebody who has like passed over to the other side, but there is some feeling of they're not in your life in the 3D the way that you want them to be, and that brings some kind of sadness to you. And what's interesting, so I think we might have a mixed group here where like for some of you, this is somebody that you're in separation with, and for others of you, this is somebody like that you lost, somebody who's passed on. But what's interesting is that in the Rider-Waite deck, we would see somebody, in many decks actually, we would see somebody who is hunched over spilled cups and they are crying over them. But there are upright cups right behind them. It's just that they're so sad because they're focused on the spilled cups, they don't even see the upright cups behind them. And this is making me think of, in this book I read called Journey of Souls, there was a message about grief in there and how our passed on loved ones are always trying to communicate with us, but if we have too much grief or if we have too much sadness in our system, it's very hard to notice this. And they were the doctor was, I guess you could say, interviewing people who were under hypnosis who remembered dying in a past life. And they were saying, for example, like, my wife is crying so much. I'm trying to comfort her. I'm trying to let her know that I'm here, but she can't hear me because she's overcome with grief. And so there may be something like that going on here, where one of the reasons you're missing these messages or signs is because you're overcome with a feeling of sadness at this person's absence. And now that I think of it, I'm sure that this could be the case even if this isn't somebody who has passed on. It could just be someone that you're not really in contact with anymore. Maybe things didn't end very well and you really, really miss them. All the while, their higher self is trying to reach out to you and let you know, like, I'm still, oh, this makes sense. And to let you know, I'm still here. I still care for you. I'm still sending you love. I'm still helping you on your journey. But because you're so overcome with sadness that they're not like, you're not in the 3D situation that you'd like to be in with them, it's kind of hard to hear them. And I just realized that's maybe why you would see them in your dreams, for example, or you would see them in a meditation, because that's when kind of your conscious, active brain is turned off. And I think that's when it's easiest for this person to come through. It's easier to come through when you're sleeping, because that part of your brain that's maybe overthinking or that has a lot of grief is kind of turned off, so to speak, and the veil is a little bit thinner. But yes, this very much looks like somebody who is human or somebody who was human, and whom you miss quite a bit. Okay, so we're gonna pull some tarot now. We got a little bit of information about this, but I just kind of want to see more in depth, like, are you missing the signs completely? Are you misinterpreting the signs? Or are you just struggling to claim them? What's going on? What is getting lost in translation? So we have the King of Pentacles. And we have the Six of Cups. Oh, so First of all, with this King of Pentacles, this could be indicative of an earth sign person, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, who is coming through, somebody that you knew or were involved with for a very, very long time, or somebody with whom you saw the potential for a very long-term future. It could be a masculine energy, but it doesn't have to be. If this is somebody who's passed on, this could be indicative of like a parent or a grandparent or a fatherly figure. But what you need to know with this King of Pentacles is that this person's higher self is with you all the time. All the freaking time. The King of Pentacles is very consistent and very reliable and very strong and sturdy. And honestly, with any of the Pentacle cards, like Pentacle Court cards, I think I would get this message. Like, I'm with you all the time. But because the King of Pentacles is like the highest one, so to speak, there's this feeling of like ever-present or omnipresent love and support. Like, I could never not be with you. I am always with you. This person might communicate to you with flowers, especially white flowers. If you see an image of them, or if you see a patch of them or a bouquet of them in your waking life, it's a sign that they are thinking about you. It's a sign that they're watching over you and supporting you. And the Six of Cups does speak of a very, very strong soul connection. So this is definitely not your first incarnation with this soul. And I think that you would have felt a bond with this soul that was inexplicable. That was inexplicable. That was unlike anything you had experienced before. Now, I'm going to say I do think for the vast majority of you, this is a human. Like a human who's incarnated with you right now, or who was incarnated with you. For a very small percentage of you, this might be an animal, like a pet who passed away or something like that. Just because the Six of Cups, like this feels like family, and it feels very pure and innocent. So I'm thinking of like how children and animals are very pure and innocent like that. But this is someone who had nothing but the purest of love towards you, nothing but the purest of intentions towards you. And I do think that it may just be, I think for this group, it's that you're literally not seeing the signs or the messages, rather than like you're misinterpreting it or you're not believing it or something. I feel like a lot of the messages that this person sends to you, it just, it gets lost because you have some sadness in your heart. Maybe you have some guilt or regret in your heart. You have some lingering negative feelings from the time that you were together. And a lot of their messages of love and comfort, I think, are just they're not getting through to you. I think it's interesting because the King of Pentacles is like very practical, very put together, very much in the 3D world. Whereas with the Six of Cups, I see this kind of childlike wonder. So I think in order to receive more messages and signs from this soul, it's almost like you need to start believing in magic again. And you need to start like looking for magic around every corner. It could be something like, stop to, there's something like stop to smell the flowers, or stop to look up at the starry sky, stop to appreciate the things around you. The more you're in the present moment and you believe in magic, you'll start to see more signs and messages from this person. And what they were just saying is like, some of you guys might be, there was that message about like, you'll feel this person more when your mind is idle. Some of you guys might be intentionally keeping busy because like thinking about this person might bring some sadness to you, like longing for them and missing them. But what they want you to realize is that if you were really sitting with their energy, if you were really connecting with them and not like the grief-stricken version of them that your ego created, if you were really, really connected to them, you would feel love, you would feel warmth, you would feel peace, you would feel joy, like if you were really connecting to their soul. And I think the reason you're not seeing their signs is because you're like, oh, I'm afraid of resting my mind. I'm afraid of being present and stopping and looking around because I'm going to see sadness. But the true them, the true essence of them is not the sadness. The true essence of them is unconditional love and peace. So there is some like grief here, sadness, regret that needs to be overcome so that you can truly feel them. Okay, so let's take a look at some oracle cards now. First, we have change. We have perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. And we have, I think this is diopside with Mother Earth. It's interesting that I was saying like stop to smell the flowers, stop to, what did I say? Like look at the sky. I forget what I said, but I do remember that it was examples that were related to nature. And with this diopside card here, I think that one of the big ways this person might communicate to you is through signs in nature, like the example of white flowers that we gave before, or they might put a rainbow in your path, or they might have like a beautiful shooting star or a rainfall or something like that to let you know that they are around and that they're sending you love. And there's really something about them being present wherever you go. It's like they want you to see them and feel them in every little branch, in every little insect, in every little breeze. Like they're really all around you. Like you could never be without me. I could never leave you. This is the kind of thing that they're trying to communicate to you. And they'll often communicate through nature, through things outside, natural phenomenon, I guess you could say, or images of those things, you know, like images of flowers on a card or something like that. Another thing that this person would like you to know, you know, apart from I'm here, I'm always here with you and I love you, with this change and perseverance, they want you to know that they believe in you so much that you can do whatever you set your mind to, that they know you're going to do amazing things, that you're already doing amazing things. And if there's some kind of change, some kind of breakthrough that you guys are trying to bring about in your life, they want you to keep going. Keep fighting for what it is that you want. Keep pursuing your dream because you will get there. And any obstacles that you guys have been facing, they're there to make you stronger. They are not there to deter you from this path. You are meant to be on the path that you are on, or you are meant to want the things that you want. It's just going to take patience and perseverance. So if you guys have been doubting or just wondering, like, I think I want to pursue this. Is this the path for me? They want to give you a huge yes to that. Even if it's difficult, it is the path for you. And if you guys have been thinking of like, should I wait or move on from something? They're telling you to hang in there. They're telling you to keep going. And I just realized for some of you, this might be like, if this is a person that you're in separation with, this might be their higher self saying like, hang in there because things will change in our connection. Things will come through in our connection. So let's persevere together, because our separation is just an illusion. I'm everywhere you go. I'm everywhere in Mother Earth. I'm everywhere in nature. I'm always with you. And if we can get over this period where we appear to be separated, then we can have it all together. Okay, so now, okay, this deck. We're going to get into some more tarot now. Let's see if there's anything else that this soul would like to communicate to you, or anything else, any other ways they communicate with you that they'd like you to know about. There's also something, there's like an intense loyalty to this person, like in terms of their higher self. And it's almost like their image of you could never be tainted. So even if you had some kind of rough patches with this person, or they, you know, got to see a little bit of your shadow or your ugly side, or what you perceive as your ugly side, that would never change how they view you. I think the way that they view you is always like this pure, innocent, beautiful, magical being. Their soul will always view you in like the highest and purest light. So there's something coming through, like there's no hard feelings, there's no regrets, nothing has been tainted, nothing has gone wrong. That kind of message is coming through for you guys. So let's see, what would this soul like to communicate to group 3? Woo, a lot apparently, in terms of messages they have for you, or in terms of ways in which they communicate with you. Interesting. So we have 1 extra card. The other 2 groups have gotten 3 from this deck. You guys got 4. They all fell out together, which usually means that this soul has a lot to say to you. And also, if you saw the way they like, boop, like it's almost like they hopped out of the deck. There was a feeling of like excitement or enthusiasm to be able to connect with you. I feel like this soul has really, really been trying to get through to you guys, but it just requires a clear mind and a more positive and optimistic outlook to be able to truly hear from them. So let's take a look at all of these cards. We have the Knight of Swords. Ooh. We have the Page of Cups. The 8 of Swords. And the Ace of Swords. Okay, so there is a lot of air energy present here as well. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and I know I'm like naming a bunch, but there's also a little bit of water. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Air seems to be the most like dominant here though. Will this fit like that? Yes. Okay, so it's very interesting to me that the Knight of Swords is here, because the Knight of Swords for me is like dumping, like a dumping of communication or a breakthrough in communication, like a communication that has been blocked or stifled or delayed is finally gushing out or like blurting out. Maybe that's a better way to say it. So in the case that this is somebody you are in separation with, like in the 3D on Earth, the Knight of Swords is definitely an indication, and the Page of Cups as well, that there's very, and I don't know how to say this, a very voluminous communication, like a communication with a lot of volume, with a lot of content. I don't know how else to say it. There's a big communication coming from this person with the Knight of Swords, maybe sooner than you think, and the Page of Cups is also like an emotional offer. And the idea with the Knight of Swords, or at least how I see it, is like you're going from like no contact, and then suddenly everything that you needed to hear from this person, or everything that you wanted to know from this person, is just like pouring out. I think of it as like a dumping, a very, very long text message, or a very, very long phone call, or a very, very long heart-to-heart, where everything that was being held back is just pouring out like this. If this is somebody who is around in the 3D world, I do believe that this will be happening in your waking life with the 3D person, you know, so like not as a psychic experience or anything like that, although you may receive telepathic messages from this person, but this is like something in the 3D, like I said, text message, phone call, meeting in person. There's a big communication that is coming. And it's interesting because I often feel like the receiver of this dumpage, even if they've been waiting for this communication, they can often feel very overwhelmed by it, just because it's a lot of information coming at them at once. And they're like, holy shit, I need some time to process this. And so it's interesting, like this person's soul has been trying to get your attention and communicate to you, maybe giving you a heads up that this was coming, so that you can, you know, mentally and emotionally prepare. So maybe this is your chance now to have that heads up that there's a very I don't think contentious is the right word. A very volumey, very high content communication coming from this person that could leave you feeling quite emotional, that could leave you feeling quite raw is the word that's coming to my mind, and that could leave you needing time to process things. With the Page of Cups here, it might be an apology. I was just filming a reading the other day with Aso Tarot, and she said the Page of Cups is like an I'm sorry. And I was like, oh, interesting. I think that's maybe her interpretation, which I'd never used before, and I was thinking to myself, maybe I'll implement that in the future. And then this Page of Cups came out here and it felt right to do that. So there may be some sort of apology or explanation of previous behavior coming through with this dumping, or a forgiveness towards you, or both. If this is somebody who is not incarnate anymore, then the way I'm seeing this is like, for example, you've been having a lot of dreams about this person, but like you can never get to them. You know, when you see someone in a dream, but it's like you can't reach them, you can't get to them, or you go to talk to them and your voice doesn't come out, or you can't see their face. I get messages and comments about that a lot. I keep dreaming about this person. I can never see their face, but I know it's them because I can feel their energy. You know, these kind of obscured images of them, and then all of a sudden one night you have a dream where finally they're standing there in front of you. You can see their face, you can touch them, you can hold them, you can hear clear words coming from them, and they're not like talking in riddles, they're just saying everything that you wanted to hear, and it's so clear and vivid and it's uninterrupted, and your dream isn't like ripping you away to some other nonsense, you know, like it's a sudden breakthrough of clarity and all of the information that you wanted. Finally getting to see this person in the way that you've wanted to, and like look them in the eyes and stuff like that. That's how it feels. And you know, some of this dumping, some of this communication may be a little bit hard to hear, but I think it's all coming from a place of love. I think there's also a lot of affection in this communication with the Page of Cups. And it's funny, these two together, because like, you know, with the Page of Cups being like the least developed of the Cups court cards, it could be somebody who isn't super developed emotionally, but with the Knight of Swords, they have a lot of desire to communicate. So it's like, there may just be some messages that are delivered without tact, or that are a little bit blunt, or they're not considerate about the amount of information that they're dumping on you all at once. Sometimes I see with the Knight of Swords, it's like someone comes back in after months of separation and it's like blah, 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 and this is what I want to do with our relationship from now on. And you're like, okay, hold on. Like, you've been gone for however much time, and you're already giving me a call to action. Like, I need time to think about this freaking novel that you just said to me, buddy. So could be something like that going on as well. And then we have, I'm going to go to the Ace of Swords first, because I'm not quite sure about this Eight of Swords yet. In fact, I might pull clarifier on it later, but we'll see. The Ace of Swords is pretty straightforward to me, because this is about clear, open, direct, honest communication, breakthroughs in communication. And there may even be like, there may be some things that are channeled during this conversation, you know, like, let's say this person that you're dealing with is usually not the very like expressive type, you know, but then when you're with them, all of a sudden they're just like blurting out everything that they've been feeling, everything that they've been desiring, almost as if like their higher self is really coming through, or a spirit guide is coming through to help them. This is making me think of like communication that is facilitated by some sort of divine being, or something that is being, that makes sense, or something that is being channeled. If one or both of you during this exchange is having a hard time coming forward, I do think that there will be some divine intervention, because the Eight of Swords is like a lack of confidence. You're afraid to speak up, you're afraid to take action, you're afraid to be assertive, you're scared. So if you're struggling your guides are gonna really, really push you. And this is something that's happened to me before, where I was like really, really nervous to talk to somebody. And then something just came over me and I just started like spitting things out. And in that moment, I was like, something is channeling through me, or like something pushed me to do that, because that was not me. I feel like this communication is long overdue, and your guides want to make sure that you make the most of it. So they're gonna help you out with that. All right. So we're going to move on now to the final part of the reading, which is messages from your higher self and messages from your spirit guides. All right. What does your higher self want you to know? Celebrate you. Take yourself out on a date, treat yourself to a massage, take time to enjoy your own company. So first of all, this is just a plain sweet message from your higher self that they want to see you taking care of your vessel more. They want to see you treating yourself more. They want to see you pampering yourself more. I don't know if that has that much to do with this connection or this reading, but just something that they would like you to know. If I do link it back to this reading in some way, this is asking you to relax and to calm your mind and to not be afraid of having an idle mind, and that everything is going to be okay if you allow your mind to slow down. And do we have any matches? Yes! I like to check if there are matches. We have matches here. So this artwork makes me think of counterparts. So with this Six of Cups here, it is somebody I think that you have a long history with. You could have a long history with them in the 3D, but from a soul perspective as well. We have let it all go. Forgive yourself, forgive others. Don't let pain, anger, or guilt control you. Exactly. I think this matches really, really well with what we were talking about, especially at the beginning of the reading, of needing to release sadness, grief, or guilt, or regret, so that you can hear from this soul more clearly. And we have patience. Great things take time to manifest quickly. Trust more than you doubt. So your higher self is coming through to support you with whatever it is that you guys are trying to manifest. Whatever change it is that you're trying to move towards, your higher self is completely on board, and you're being asked to push through. You're being asked to hang in there. This is not a time to I'm hearing like don't give up when you're so close. This is not a time to give up or move on, because you're so close to the breakthrough that you want. There are breakthroughs coming in this reading, breakthroughs in your life, breakthroughs in this connection. At the bottom of the deck, we have go to nature, take a walk, have a picnic, lay on the grass, look up at the clouds. This is exactly the kind of energy that you need to connect more. We saw earlier that this soul will connect through nature. I feel like this is just reiterating that. And this is also a very like relaxing, stop and smell the roses kind of energy that we're seeing. So, whoa, to finish off now, we have Rose. Romance is in the air. Lobster. In this deck, it says financial pinch, but for me, lobsters is like the Friends reference of he's your lobster, or whatever it is. Basically like being mates for life. So that could be a message of love from this person, or just, it doesn't have to be romance, but like that they love you a lot, that they're your lobster, meaning that they're never going to go anywhere. They're always going to be with you. And there was a message about flowers maybe being significant, a way that this person communicates with you. Lobster could also be like water signs. We have Ram, so Aries. There's a lot of zodiac signs coming through, so I don't know if it even like if it even like makes a difference to mention them now, because I feel like I've mentioned most of them. But we have Ram, a stubborn, aggressive person. So maybe somebody was being too stubborn in this connection. And we have I, psychic ability, trust your intuition. You've definitely been telepathically communicating with this person. And you're going to either have an opportunity to communicate all of these things that how can I say it? Everything, all the information that has come to you through psychic insights, you're going to have the opportunity to hear it in the 3D directly from this person. Or you're going to be able to confirm it. All right. I think that's everything. I think that's all the messages that we have for you. So I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. Sending you guys lots of love. I'm sending this soul and all of your spiritual team lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number 4s, so this reading is for those of you who were drawn to the spirit quartz, and in today's reading we are going to be taking a look at the messages and signs that you are not seeing or that you are misinterpreting. I did just want to mention, so in this reading, one of the oracle decks that I'm using is like a crystal oracle deck, and when I was doing group 2, their crystal card that came out was spirit quartz. So I said to them, like, if you felt drawn to pile 4, you should watch that one. And I'm going to say the same thing for you guys. If you also felt drawn to group 2, there might be messages for you there as well, because spirit quartz did pop up in that group 2. If you are here from group 2, hello. Another thing I wanted to say was, when I envision your spiritual team, they're dancing, like they're holding hands and dancing. So I don't know if they are maybe celebrating something, celebrating you, or if they literally want you to dance. if you guys are a dancer and they're encouraging you to pursue it or get back into it, or maybe there's a dancer in your life who is significant. Or in a more metaphorical way, this can be them encouraging you to just let loose and express yourself more freely without being so rigid and without policing yourself, is the way it's coming to me. But let's get into the breakdown of this reading. So the first thing I want to see is who is coming through. Who has been trying to send you these messages and signs that you're not seeing? Is it someone who's incarnated or not? Is it a human or not? Is it one soul? Is it many souls? We're going to take a look at that. And I also want to see, is it that you are completely not seeing these signs? Is it that you're misinterpreting them? Is it that you see them but you're just struggling to really believe it and claim it? We're going to look at that, and then we will get into what exactly these messages are, how they're being communicated to you, and then finally I want to close off the reading with messages from your higher self and from your spirit guides. So that's how it's gonna go. And we're going to start by seeing if we can identify the soul or souls who have been sending you these messages and signs. So who has been trying to communicate with group 4? We have the 2 of Pentacles coming out, and we have Judgment coming out. So interestingly, Judgment is the number 20, which reduces to 2. So we have 2 sets of 2 coming out here. And what came to me immediately with the 2 of Pentacles here is that this soul wants you to know that you two are equals. And I would also say this to somebody who is incarnated right now, because Pentacles energy makes me think of something, you know, it's earth, so it's like grounded in reality, it's grounded on earth. This is somebody who is incarnate on earth right now and wants you to know that the 2 of you are equals in some way or another. And with Judgment here, this person also wants you to know that you have really been waking them up and challenging them, like in a good way, to become the best version of themselves that they can be. Now, sometimes I feel like your higher selves do guide and support each other, But I also feel that sometimes you're not always incarnated together. So it might just be like one of you is occupying a meat suit and the other one is in the soul world guiding. You might kind of switch around like this. I'm getting the feeling for most of you that you are both incarnated right now. And this message of you guys being equals, it could be like a counterpart thing, especially with all of this number 2. It could also just be like, you know, somebody that you admire a lot and you feel like they're better than you in some way. Maybe you put them on a pedestal, or you think that they're out of your league, or that you can't live up to them or something like that. And they're just coming through to say like, no, we are equals. We both struggle, we both succeed, we're both just trying our best. Or maybe it's the other way around, where they really look up to you and they feel intimidated by you. But the message that they're coming through with the most strongly is like, we are both badasses. We are both very talented. We're both destined for success. We're both doing and are going to continue doing amazing things. And as much as you might look up to me and feel like I'm challenging you to be better, I feel the same way about you. We are just experiencing each other in the same way. I think how this person feels about you is very much how you feel about them. So let's take a look at the tarot now, because I want to see, well, this is also tarot, but like the next tarot deck, I want to see, is it that you're not getting signs from them at all? Is it that you're misinterpreting them? Is it that you see them but you're just doubting them? What is it that is getting lost in this communication? Where are you struggling? We have the 9 of Cups. So this is someone that you like. This is someone that you like a lot. This is someone that you look up to a lot. We have the 9 of Cups and Death. So there's pretty strong Scorpio energy coming through here, because we have Death, which is related to Scorpio. And we also have Judgment, which I don't think it necessarily has a zodiac association, but it is related to Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio. So Scorpio energy could be quite significant here. So yes, with the 9 of Cups, I think this is somebody that you like a lot, and that maybe you would even feel like it's too good to be true to be receiving signs and messages from this person, or it's too good to be true that you would be equals in any way, shape, or form, or counterparts in any way, shape, or form. Because with the 9 of Cups, it's like having a wish. You wish that this person would be sending you signs. You long for this person to be sending you signs. And here you are wishing for it, and they're already trying to communicate with you. As for whether it's like you're not seeing them or you're misinterpreting them, I'm going to just take a clarifier for this Death card. Where are the messages going? Is group 4 not seeing them? Are they getting them wrong? Or are they just struggling to believe? We have the 2 of Cups. So, okay, there's some kind of counterpart energy coming through here. I feel like, because we do have the 2 of Cups and the 2 of Pentacles, this is either like you are meant to work with this person, or you are meant to be like in some kind of intimate emotional relationship with them, or both. So if I can just give an example, maybe like you are a dancer and there's or a musician or something, and there's this person that you really, really look up to, and their higher self is trying to send you some signs of like, we're gonna make shit together, or we're gonna collaborate together, we're gonna do something together, or like you and I, we have the same talent, we have the same gift, we have the same purpose. It's like their soul is either trying to communicate to you that you guys are meant to do something together, or that like your life purpose is very, very similar. So there's like in the dancer example, there's a dancer that you really, really look up to, and their soul is trying to tell you, you see me out here performing and inspiring millions, that's you too. You're meant to do that too. and they're, you know, you're from the same like tribe or the same wave of light workers, and so they're trying to what is it, get your attention. Yes, they're trying to get your attention about that, and you're like, nah, me, like I could never be up there on your level, I could never be doing the things that you do. Or taking it even a level further, they might be telling you we are meant to dance together on the same stage, you know, whichever one resonates with you. Feel free to claim one or the other or both. And you're like, no, I could never share a stage with you, I could never breathe your air, or something like that. And basically, whatever it is, the message that they're trying to get through to you is that you guys are equals, that you guys are one of the same. I think you are cut from the same cloth. There's a feeling of you guys being a part of the same wave of souls, like the same generation of souls, or the same like tribe of souls. It's a little bit vague, but you're more similar to this person than you think. I think for you guys, it may not be that you don't see the signs, but you're having a very, very hard time believing them. You might kind of brush it off as like wishful thinking, you know? And I also think there may be a part of you guys that is afraid of this destiny that is calling to you, because if it's just your fantasy, you can control what happens. You know, it's playing out safely in your head. But if it's real in the 3D, oh my gosh, there's things that can go wrong, right? Like, what if this person doesn't like me? Or what if I'm not as good of a blank as they are? What if I don't live up to them? What if I don't reach my full potential? And when I look at this death card, I'm thinking of this death as your destiny, because death is inevitable and death is unknown. And no matter how much you pray for death not to come, he's going to come in on his horse and fuck shit up, essentially. And I'm seeing this death card as like an inevitable, unknown transition that is coming into your life. And I think for you guys, it's like the very thing that you want so much is also the thing that scares you the most. So you're being called to some really, really big destiny here. The person who's communicating to you is somebody who has a very, very similar purpose to you, a very, very similar skill set to you, very similar gift and destiny and what would you call it, life path design to you. Like really, really similar life stories as well. But you think that they're above you for some reason. You think that they're above you, and they're trying to say like we're equals, whether that means like you are meant to live a life exactly like me, or you are meant to live this life with me. I will leave that up to your intuition, but I feel like you guys know what's up for this group. It's not that you're not seeing them, it's that you think you're making it up. What you think is just like your fantasy or your wishful thinking is actually signs and messages from this soul. Okay, interesting. So let's take a look now at your oracle cards. So we have 91, surrender. And this is the first time I actually said the number out loud, I think. So maybe it's an important number. We have death. So we have death coming out twice. I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. And we have Morganite with relationship healing. Okay, I want to talk about these. This makes me think of death as well. So we have like 3 cards that are making me think of like a death and a rebirth. The number 91 here, and this is probably why I said it out loud. 9 is like something that is near completion, a cycle that is about to end. And 1 is obviously, you know, being the first number, it's like the beginning of a cycle. And then on the death card, we also have, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. This red color that we see on both of the cards, it is making me think of passion. And in fact, we have pink here. So like all this red and pink, it's like, it's a love, it's passion, it's following your heart. This soul is here to propel you into a life of passion, to propel you into a life of free expression, like the way your spiritual team was dancing at the beginning. Whether you're a dancer or not, it doesn't matter. It's creativity, it's free expression, it's living your passion. That's why this soul is here. They are calling you to live your passion. And the red color is also making me think of the root chakra. Like, you need to feel confident and you need to feel secure enough to move forward with this. It's interesting that we have relationship healing. So I do think for many of you, this soul, yes, they are here to inspire you. They are here to call to you. They are here to help awaken you to who you truly are and what your destiny truly is. But I do think there is some sort of personal or even intimate relationship that could blossom here. This is a person that could trigger a lot of healing for you as well. And what's really interesting, I honestly don't know if this is a meaning of Morganite that, you know, like comes up when you look it up, or if it's just something that I've learned through seeing it pop up in readings. But for me, Morganite, it's not just about love, but it's about being loved for your true self, being loved for all of your uniqueness, for all of your weirdness. And for me, Morganite is the stone for people who feel weird and feel like their weirdness can't be loved. And I feel like it's a stone that can help us open up more and put an end to the self-fulfilling prophecy of like, people aren't going to love me for who I am, or people aren't going to understand me anyway, so I might as well just close off, which only furthers our isolation, which only furthers our feeling of not being understood. And whether you know this person in the 3D yet or not, I feel like one of the messages they're trying to send you is like, I see you, I get you. Those things inside of you, those thoughts swirling around in your head, those quirks and tastes and preferences that make you you, that you feel are weird, I feel that. I get that. I am that. I am that too. And even this person's 3D self might kind of drop hints that they share the same weirdness as you. Especially if this person has kind of a persona like that they adhere to, being like a normal person. Every now and then they might drop little hints to you, or their higher self might come through and drop little hints to you of like, I have the same weird quirks as you, or I like the same niche things as you. Like, I don't know how this came up, but Morganite for me is just like embracing your weirdness and finding companionship in your shared weirdness, and like letting it all come out and letting it all see the light of day and letting all of it be loved and appreciated. So they're definitely trying to send you messages and signs of like, I see you, I'm like that too, and trying to help you to open up to that side of yourself and to really embrace it. And maybe this death is like an ego death as well, like not just ending a phase in your life, but also an ending in who you really are. Like, it's time for you to take this armor off. And also, Ego Death is a very, very good song. It's Ty Dolla $ign, if that's how you pronounce it, and Skrillex, and FKA Twigs, and Kanye West. Oh my god, it's so good. Anyway, so we're going to move on to another tarot deck and see if there's anything else that you should know about messages that this soul is trying to send you, or how they're communicating with you. What would this soul like to communicate to group 4? Any additional messages or any additional methods of communication that group 4 should be aware of? We have the Queen of Swords. I feel like this person would look up to you and even feel intimidated by you the same way you might feel about them. Like, if you feel, oh, there's no way this person likes me or is interested in me or is in my league, they would feel the same way about you. And if you're hearing that and thinking that's outrageous, that's ridiculous, that's also how they feel about you being insecure and intimidated around them. Like, me? what? You look up to me? You're intimidated by me? What the heck? The Queen of Swords can be indicating that you very often hear this person in your mind. So you might have a telepathic connection with this person, which honestly, it can be a little bit tricky when the method of communication is in your head rather than in the outside world. Of course, no matter where signs are popping up, we can always doubt it and think that it's in our head. But when the sign itself is in our head, it can be even harder. For obvious reasons, like you can just mistake it for your own voice in your head or something that you conjured up. But I feel like there is some kind of telepathy going on here where you can maybe hear this person's thoughts, or they are, speaking to you through a claircognizant gift that you have. I think that this soul, whether it's in the 3D or in spirit, they are helping you to see your worth, and they're helping you to cut away things. Honestly, in their words, cut away things that you are too good for or that don't deserve you. Like situations and people that frankly don't deserve you. I think the more you guys start to love and appreciate yourself, the more obvious it becomes when people around you don't love and appreciate you, and the lower tolerance you will have for that. Like, I can't have these disrespecting bitches around me. I'm sorry, that was mean. But people who don't respect you, people who don't value your time, people who don't appreciate you. Like, the more and more that you love yourself, the less and less patience you will have for that. And I feel like this person's higher self wants you to be a little bit more harsh when you are, slashing away these things that don't deserve you, or these people that don't deserve you. And with all of this death, it's so natural as you ascend and as you evolve, it's natural for things to fall away that aren't supposed to be there anymore. And I know that it can be very scary in the moment. I went through a phase in 2019 where I lost my significant other and 3 friends, all in the course of a few months. And it can be very, very scary. What the heck is going on? Am I doing something wrong? Why are people dropping like flies? But honestly, I feel like you guys might just be outgrowing people and outgrowing certain situations. And, we often say, if things are happening in many different relationships, you're the common denominator. And yes, that is true. We should always be introspective in that way. But I think in this case, the common denominator is your growth. The common denominator is you starting to value yourself. I just wanted to point that out because I think sometimes saying you're the common denominator has a negative connotation, but in this case, it's a very positive one. Of course, all of these relationships are changing because I am the common thing in all of them, and I am growing, and I am starting to value myself more. So naturally, anything that is not a match with that is going to fall away. What else does this soul want you to know? We have the universe. I'm thinking of my universe. You are my universe, and I just want to put you first. I think I already mentioned that in a reading recently, but you know what? It's a catchy song. Maybe that's a message that they have for you. You are their universe, and no matter how different you guys may appear on the outside, you're a lot more similar than you realize. You are 2 sides of the same coin, or 2 copies of the same coin, however you want to put it. Whether you have some cultural differences, whether you have some space between you, you are very, very much the same. The universe is also, or the world, it's the world in traditional tarot, it's also about reciprocation, reciprocated feelings. So honestly, we've seen this before in the reading, but however you feel about this person, whatever you desire from this person, whatever makes you scared about this person, they would feel the same way towards you, they would really mirror that feeling. I also think with the world, it's like you're going to do big things. You're going to be out there in the world. You're going to be going places. You're going to be very successful. Ooh, and then we also have the High Priestess. There's a lot of signs of most of the communication and messages from this person happening in your inner world. I got that from the Queen of Swords. I get it very much from the High Priestess as well. It could also be that you get a lot of messages from this person at night when you are sleeping, like when you're dreaming, or when you are about to fall asleep, when you are winding down at night, because the High Priestess is like the night, the darkness, the hidden stuff. It could also be divination, because the High Priestess is very spiritual and psychic. This person's soul might use divination tools to communicate with you, whether it be tarot cards like what we're doing here, or I don't know what else, pendulum. That's the only other thing I can think of right now. But I think a lot of the communication from the soul will come from from psychic insights. And one thing that was coming up to me with the world is that they might communicate with you like in another language, like if, I don't know, like in your second language or something like that, or you might have to like translate some messages from them or something like that, because the world is about like foreigners and other backgrounds and things like that. Okay, so, and also we have another number 2 here. We have the 2 of Pentacles, we have the 2 on Judgment, we have 2 in the High Priestess, we have 2 on the 2 of Cups. It's really, really just being like driven home that you're equals. All right, so we are going to close off this reading with messages from your higher self and messages from your spirit guides. I'm just gonna make sure that we have room for everything. What does your higher self want you to know? Cleanse. You are water. Cry, sweat, drink, soak, swim to refresh. This card has been kind of following me around. Like, this is the 3rd time it's popped up in a reading in a pretty short time span. Maybe I need to do this. Your higher self wants you to connect with water. Interesting. Make sure that you are staying hydrated. With sweat, maybe your higher self is asking you to exercise. So, you know, get your sweat on a little bit, exercise, stay hydrated, take your healing baths. This can be something that helps to clear your mind, something that helps you to de-stress, as well as connect with your intuition more. Or you might even want to, you know, be outside in nature near a body of water, like out by the sea, by the ocean, out by a lake. Be confident. Shine your light. Take up space. You don't need anyone's approval. You deserve to be proud of who you are. Your higher self and your spirit guides, they want you to be able to express yourself freely and be confident in your abilities, and to really feel like you deserve a stage and you deserve a spotlight in this world. You deserve to shine. You deserve to take up space. You deserve to be known and seen and praised and applauded. And one more. I just want to check if we have any matching. No, they're all different. Mind your business. Let others do what they want. You can't change anyone. Keep your distance from those who drain you. So that's exactly what we're talking about with the Queen of Swords. And I really like this card, honestly. I think this is one of my favorite cards in the deck. And I was just talking about this with my best friend. Like, we cannot control other people, and when somebody is failing to treat us well, or when someone is failing to see our worth, unfortunately that is their problem. And I think a lot of the time, and maybe this is a generalization, but especially with feminines, I feel like we think like it's our job to make that person see the truth, or it's their job to hold their hand through their healing and through their growth and like fix them or save them or whatever it is. And it's like, it's not our problem. You know, if somebody is not gonna see our worth or pull their weight in a relationship, that's their choice, and it's also their problem. And it's not our job to, you know, help them become more mature or whatever. I hope you know what I'm trying to say. Like, we can't change people, and it's the only thing that we can control is us. So we have to choose if we want to stay in a relationship as it is or move on to something else. We need to accept the things that we cannot change. And I also want to say, like, if you guys are resonating with this, like, you know, putting yourself out there and becoming a dancer, so to speak, or whatever it is that you want to become, and you're worried about, like, oh, but what if people don't like me? Oh, but what if people judge me? Sure, they're allowed to do that. They're allowed to judge you. That's not your business. That's not your problem. You know, like, it's not your job to make people like you. You know, it's like, if you like me, awesome. If you don't like me, I don't care. You're allowed to not like me, and I'm allowed to not give a shit. And, you know, that's like the Queen of Swords. She's really harsh like that, you know? And sometimes we just need to make it plain and simple like that. I'm going to do my thing. And that, because that's my right, and you're allowed to think whatever you want about it, and I'm allowed to do it anyway. So, yeah. I think your higher self just wants you, because we only have 24 hours in a day, and we only have so many fucks to give, and we only have so much mental and emotional currency, and we cannot waste it trying to worry about or control or change how people are thinking or feeling or what they're doing. It's a waste. But what we can do is take it upon ourselves to find our home and to find our tribe and flourish there. And they can keep tending to their dusty ass garden. Okay, so we're gonna finish off this reading with messages from your spirit guides. We have September, so this can be an important month. I don't know when you're watching this reading, but the next time September comes around could be significant, or somebody who is born in September, including you, or somebody whom you met in September could be important. We have Heart, Love, Deep Affection, and Caring. This came out for another group as well, so whoever this person is who's coming through, they really, really love you, and they really, really care for you, whether you know them in the 3D yet or not. We have Bell with announcement, so keep an eye out for any upcoming announcements. Honestly, it could be from anybody, it doesn't have to be from this soul. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what this is. It's very open, but there's some important announcement coming to you guys. I just really felt called to flip this over, and we have happiness. Oh, and at the bottom we have historic news of a birth or a new business opportunity. Amazing. Okay, so these are all the messages I have for you guys, so I'm gonna end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-up cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. Sending you lots of love, sending this other soul lots of love, all of you, your whole freaking soul family and spiritual team. So much love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.